right, Linda Luke. Oh, we all know Linda Luke. Most of us. She's the greatest storyteller in Cinnamon Cove and Fort Myers, and she tells a great story. Pay attention. She always has something good to say. Linda, go.
I am going to tell a story that I learned last year for the variety show, which never happened. I picked this story because I think a lot of us in this crowd can relate to it. It's called Security, an Urban Legend. She had lived in the house all her life, almost all her life. She and her husband had bought the house shortly after they were married. They both worked long and hard, raising their children there and keeping the house warm and wonderful. The children were all grown now. All four of them had families of their own. Her husband had died gently and peacefully 2 years before. The children, worried about her safety, wanted her to sell the house and move into a senior citizen living complex. It was true, the neighborhood had changed. Hers was the only house left on the street. The rest of the buildings were businesses. The traffic had increased tenfold. The children wanted her to sell up and move. The offers for her house were very tempting, but she said no. She told the children the house was good enough for their childhoods and it would be good enough for her in her old age. She was staying put. The children stopped nagging her about it, but still they worried about her living in that heavy commercialized area. They did have security monitoring cameras installed. Still, they worried. Her eldest son, John, said, "At least get a watchdog. It will be immediate protection until the security company calls the emergency services and they arrived." The woman agreed to that request, although the children did not like her choice. But it was her choice. She chose a Doberman, and together they attended obedience training classes. She figured a guard dog with obedience training was a simple solution to her children's worries. She was surprised to learn that the dog was actually great company. One day she left Dobie at home and went to the grocery store. She enjoyed shopping, knowing that Dobie was at home guarding the place. Her grandchildren were coming for a visit, so she bought some treats, including ice cream. Unpacking when she got home, she thought, "Boy, do I have chocolate syrup?" She went to the refrigerator to check, calling to Dobie, who usually met her at the door. Upon checking, she found Dobie in the hallway, choking and bleeding from the mouth. A trail of blood led from the bedroom. She immediately called the veterinarian. Her niece, who worked there, told her to bring the dog in immediately. It was a struggle, but she managed to get the dog into the car. Her niece was waiting for her at the veterinarian and took the dog inside. The woman told her niece, "I left the ice cream on the kitchen counter. Can I go home and put it in the freezer?" And her niece replied, yes, go ahead, put the ice cream away, leave Dobie with us. He will be fine, I promise. Upon entering her house, the phone was ringing off the hook. She answered it. It was her niece yelling, get out now. The police have been called. Get out, leave now." The woman was confused. She ran out the door just as the police cars came screaming down the street, sirens blaring and lights flashing. Officers jumped out of their cruisers with guns drawn. One officer led her down the street away from the house. An ambulance arrived. The police were not in the house very long when they came out. One officer finished a walkie-talkie call and approached her. "We followed the trail of blood in your house to your bedroom closet. There we found a man, dead, curled up around what was left of one hand. When the vet found that in your dog's throat, she called us while your niece called you." Dobie recovered in a couple of days and continued to guard the woman for many, many more years.